Hi, this is Takashino from Jazz Love Japan. Today I just want to feature a couple of albums which I think are, very interesting and rare. Yes, the albums are these. Yeah. I don't know whether you can see these jacket designs, both albums are Duke Pearson, This one, Duke Pearson Trio. The title is Bags Groove. And this one is the same, the Duke Pearson Quintet. The title is Hush on the Jazz Line label. As you can see, this label design, Jazz Line, sorry. Yes, Jazz Line. And this is a reissue by the Trio Records Japan. I haven't talked about Trio Records, but Trio is a company that manufactured a very good audio equipment like amplifiers and turntables and the rest. Yeah, I used to have the Trio amplifiers when I was at the university. I remember, and it's a famous company at that time during the 70s, 80s up to the 90s. But I think the name changed from the Trio to the Kenwood, yeah, something like that. But during the 70s, I think up to the 80s, Trio has another company manufacturing the records like this. Yes, so Trio Records reissue. And as you know, and as I have already talked about recently, Jazz Line is a small jazz label which lasted for only some years, 2 to 3 years, I think, during the 60s, early 60s, and they did a great recording session at that time. This is one of them, Duke Pearson, and as you know, I already talked about Groovy, right? Freddie Hubbard, but the session was never released, and it was released by the Fontana, in Europe, with the title called Groovy, and the leader was Freddie Hubbard. But initially it was meant for the the Willie Wilson as a trombone player, and later on, Duke Pearson dedication Prestige reissued it in the late 60s, right? I already talked about that kind of story. And this one also, Duke Pearson Trio Bags Groove, this one was also never released at that time, at the time of the recording in the early 60s. The Jazz Line just died out at that time and never released. But Trio Records in the 70s, in the mid 70s, found out the master tape, and they did reissue or they released this one for the first time here in Japan. The title is called Bags Groove, as I said. And the session is very good, very good. And the pressing quality and the sound quality are also good. The original recording condition was not the best. That's what I can tell. But the sound quality as a whole, this is a mono recording, by the way, is very good. The pressing and the sound quality very good. And Trio Records at that time in the 70s didn't have the pressing facility. So the Victor Music Japan is the one who did the cutting and the pressing with this album reissue. And the same as this one, this is the Duke Pearson Quintet Hush, the same label in Jazz Line. But this one was released originally by the Jazz Line in the early 60s. But the original was very difficult for you to find it on the market, as most of you guys know. It's very difficult. And I think, Trio Record is the first company to reissue this one with the original jacket design. And I think, the label design is different from the original, I think. But, this is mono, the same as the original. And the jacket design is the same as this one, So it's a kind of, great reissue for this rare title, Duke Pearson Hush. And same as, I think, the recording sessions all was done at almost at the same time, in the early 60s. Yeah, with this, unreleased session, Bags Groove, and the Hush, this one. The only session members are different, This is the quintet, and this is the piano trio album. Yeah, that's the only difference. But, these sessions were recorded almost at the same time in the early 60s. So the recording condition, I think, is the same. And also the reissue of this one, Hush, the Victor Music Japan is the one, cutting and the pressing. So the cutting and the pressing quality are very, very good. And even with this reissue, Trio Record reissue is very rare, It's kind of difficult for you to find it on the market nowadays, especially with the orbit like this. So it's better. And I think, apart from the Trio Record, reissue, I don't think there are, reissues available outside of Japan. I don't know. I've never seen it. Yeah, I've never seen it. So maybe some, I don't know. Maybe you guys know much better than me. But, this one also is very, very rare with using the original jacket design. And although the label design is not the original label design, but at least they use the Jazz 9 label design. Yeah, so it's kind of rare. And I think it's better for you to dig those two albums. Duke Pearson Hush and Duke Pearson Bags Groove on Jazz 9 label, reissued by the Trio Records in the mid 70s. Good reissues. Yeah, that's it for today. I hope you like it. And lastly, I always keep saying, just stay safe, healthy, and be connected with music we love, jazz. And thank you for watching today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.